So
in recruitment, for example. They
Okay.
come on board, like, for example, there's a client on the East Coast, this client that I was working with, his people, now he's introducing systems, but he didn't have them. And some of the people are saying, I'm not going to do it. And I'm encouraging him to say, wow, then it doesn't sound like you belong here anymore. But I want you to decide. It's up to you. This is how we're going to do it from here on in.
So you find that there are a lot of folks who lack a clarity of vision.
Yeah.
And if they had that clarity of vision, it would give them a handle to hold on to.
It would be a good start, and it would be a good, it's a foundation. You know, if you want to start a business, but you're not clear enough about exactly what it's going to look like, are there going to be offices elsewhere? Is it company-owned stores? Is it franchises? Is it licenses? Is it one location? Is there a corporate location? You know, the structure of the business is something you have to figure out at the beginning.
Right.
And the look and feel. And the inspiration of the business can be in the vision. And that's an amazing thing. So the vision is a good thing to talk about.
Oh yeah, vision's great. And now, have you worked with people that want to start out of their home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what do you tell them? What kinds of?
That's fine. It's just we have to, you know, at a point we'll know, do we need something more than the home? Like, for example, I have an online course developer, a psychiatrist who's working with me, and she's building an online course. And the online course, it's taken her several years to build it. She knew that. She's happy with that pace. In the meantime, we've built all the other things like the pricing and the website and the delivery of the videos and everything. We've been building everything around it.
Wow.
She's doing a social media campaign to gain a following. She got 2,000 people from nothing.
Wow.
And now we're into the email newsletter portion of it. And it's an amazing endeavor. So she works out of her home and probably will never have need of an office.
Right, I know.
But others will.
Yeah, I ran my print brokering business out of my home for 30 years.
Yeah, and it works.
And I just, if you think for a minute how much money I
Saved.
saved
Yeah.
over that 30 years,
Yeah.
not paying a lease,
Mm-hmm.
not, having all of those expenses, the insurance that goes with it, all of that. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars.
And if it's a workable model, you just have to figure out your business model, and that's something we do. And, you know, what resources you'll need over time to support you. And sometimes they're employees and sometimes they aren't.
Right, right. You'll laugh, but one of my criteria back in 1985, when I started my print business, was it had to be $500 or less to start.
There you go.
And I knew I had to work out of my home. And and I had a line of credit. I went down to the local bank, Bank of Sonoma County.
Yeah.
And a family, local bank, and it wasn't a big bank, it was a little bank, and they believed in what I wanted to do. And they gave me a line of credit for $2,500 and that's all I
Wonderful.
needed. And I still have that line of credit.
That's awesome.
Because I pay my bills at the end of the month. It's a system. But I started that business with less than $500.
And look what happened.
And look what happened. That was my livelihood for 30 years.
Yes. So that's a great example of what's possible. And it just depends on what the idea is and what your end game is. And it's very important to look at the end game before you even begin anything.
Tell me about that.
Well, the end game, if you're a business owner, the trap is that you work hard for 30 years and you close the door as you exit. The opportunity is to think before you even begin, what do I want this to end up as? Do I want to sell it? Do I want to franchise it? Do I want to have someone take it over? Do I want my employees to do profit sharing? What will it look like? And so you start thinking along those lines, you can come up with, something that will benefit you in the long run. So, if you close the doors, but you've had a retirement plan, that's one option that it can work.
Right.
But there's usually something good that can come out of it if you think a little further about, well, can I sell it? What are my assets? And my customer list and what's my reputation,
Right.
and all of that has value.
Right.
And there's a formula that helps you figure that out, and business brokers help with that. But that's part of a succession plan.
Right.
And succession planning should be from the beginning of a business, not just when 10 years from retirement.
Right. Right. Well, I that actually happened to me because I retired at 62 10 years ago, and I gave a number of my clients away, but I kept 10 of my clients just so I had something going on and something I could do during the day. And so we traveled. My wife and I traveled, went to a lot of places, but after you travel, then you're going, okay, I've got this free time. What should I fill it with? And you can fill it with philanthropic kinds of endeavors. But what I have found is that there's still need for what I offered. So I can kick up my business. So it's not like I left the business behind. It's like it's this nice thing that's generating income. And if I want to get busier,
you can
just push on the accelerator.
So that you did something interesting. You took it down a slightly different road. You didn't close the door entirely. You didn't sell it. You didn't turn it over fully to other people. But you kept it in a smaller capacity, and then you have options.
Yes.
So options are the best. That's a wonderful thing, and thinking about that at the beginning is better than even if you're a sole practitioner, it's better to think about that because you can often find an apprentice who will take over your firm.
Right. I was thinking my grandkids, not my kids.
Yes.
My kids are not.
It skips a generation.
Yeah, but I've got 5 grandkids, and they're 10 years old and older, so if I keep this going for another 8 years, which I intend to do, then maybe it'll be a gift to one of the grandchildren that might be interested in.
Those are great options.
Yeah. So that's what keeps me motivated and heading, gets me up in the day and gives me energy, a passion and a vision for even my future at this age.
Of course, because that, businesses are often started these days as a second act. People in retirement are wanting to be more active, are wanting to do things. And this is a great option. So there's a lot of that happening, and especially when the economic downturn started, when it hit, people were doing that before retirement too. So it's very popular now to be an entrepreneur, and it's a great option. But doing it right is the opportunity. Instead of launching into it with enthusiasm and even passion, but then not knowing how to keep it from chaos, because chaos will happen unless things are put in place to manage all that.
What people forget too, the word entrepreneur and saying that you're an entrepreneur is a pretty fancy thing. And what people think that when I start a business, I will be my own boss. And I used to tell my classes, no, that's not true. You have 50 bosses, you have 75 bosses, whatever number of clients you have, they are your boss. And they can fire you at any time.
That's right.
That's right. And so it was relevant, the fact that people think, okay, I'm my own boss, but that's not really it.
So that brings up a really interesting point, and that is about leadership. Because leadership, as a business owner, your job is to be in command of your business and your client base.
Right.
Not controlling, but in command, which means that people are attracted to do business with you because they like the way you do business. That's your obligation and your commitment to your customers. And yes, they can fire you at any moment. And this leadership style is such an important part of being in business. Many business owners don't feel like leaders. One of the things I do as part of my business is I give workshops with horses who teach business owners how to be leaders. If a horse recognizes you as a leader, they're going to be attracted to join you in whatever you're doing. And in a business, it would be working together in the business. In the field with the horse, it would be playing, walking, trotting, that kind of thing. And it's fascinating that horses have the ability to teach us leadership.
So what you do is you take somebody who doesn't see themselves as a leader, perhaps,
Right.
and they become a leader by leading that horse.
Right. And they feel it. You see, it's not something in your head. It's something you feel in your body, because horses respond to vibration. So, you know, when we're feeling really passionate, really good, that's a higher vibration than when you're in the dumps and you have thoughts that bring you down.
Right.
Horses recognize the difference. And so do your people, because when people come and do the work with horses and they see the horse following them, coming with them, they go, wow, I wish my people would do that. And I say to them, if the horse will do it with you, your people will do it. You may not have the right team, but if now that you know how to be a leader,
Right.
you can attract the right team.
Ah, very good. Very good. That's interesting. A different look at becoming a leader. How to become a
Absolutely.
leader.
There's a lot of information on leadership these days, a lot of courses on leadership.
Right.
The thing about leadership, though, is that you have to be authentic and you have to be congruent. You can't be having a hidden agenda. You can't have, you know, one idea in your head and then say something else. The horse will bust you every time.
What do you mean bust? What do they do?
They'll show you that they don't believe you.
How do they do that?
They'll walk away.
Really?
And so will your people. And the owner will say, oh, that's what my people do.
Interesting. That's great.
And-
So a horse is sitting there listening to you and getting a vibe and getting
Yes.
an inflection.
Yes.
And they say, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, because I don't trust you.
I don't trust you. That's great. That's great.
It's amazing work. It's healing work. A horse reflects back to you what you're up to in relationship, and it's non-judgmental.
That's amazing.
And that's what's so beautiful about it, because they don't judge, they just show you. And then you get to choose. If you want to shift something in yourself, it can be immediate. I had a client come here from the East Coast, spend 5 days with the horses, just an hour or two a day, and we were building systems the rest of the time. And the horse showed him what he was up to, and he came to understand that there were a couple of thoughts that kept cycling through his head that were pulling the whole company down.
Wow.
And he identified those two thoughts. The two thoughts were, I'm not good enough. And the other thought was, nobody's going to want to work for me.
Wow.
When he got those out of the way and he felt his real power, then the horse wanted to do everything with him.
Interesting. How long did that take?
Second day.
Wow.
It can be very quick. But then the third day, lost it again.
Oh.
Fourth day, found it
Got
again.
it back. Okay.
So,
Gosh, that's great. So you're, in a sense, an interpreter of the horse
Yes.
and the people.
yes, it's a great way to describe it. So I work with, and the horse, by the way, doesn't have any equipment on them.
Right.
They're free to leave or stay. And safety is number one, of course.
Sure.
But I'm the one who sees what's happening, and then I can ask questions of the client that will pull out of them what just happened. Where were your thoughts then? And often they'll say, oh, I got distracted. Well, your people will feel your distraction too. And to be a true leader that people want to follow, you have to, be there. You have to be present, and presence is a huge part of leadership. The number one part.
Yeah.
Authenticity is another huge part.
Okay. So you really, to be a leader, you have to assume the responsibility of leadership.
And not shun it.
Well, how many of us grew up being leaders?
Nobody.
I mean, how many of us grew up being,
few.
In high school?
Few, some,
In
but
high school.
not many.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, what are your opportunities in high school? Well, you can join groups and associations, but there's a lot of folks, myself included, who weren't joiners
Right.
at the time.
Of course.
So I didn't
And me
have,
too. I was very quiet.
Yeah, me too.
In school.
Quiet. I didn't want to be laughed at. I didn't
A
want
lot
to
of
make a
people
mistake.
feel that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't
And
want to be laughed at. that.
Yes, so we want to take chances. We want to take chances in a non-judgmental environment, and that's why the horses are so good at this. And it's such fun, and it's in a beautiful setting.
I would love to experience that sometime. I should swing by and meet a horse.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, maybe not with you there, because I don't know what you'll say, what you'll find.
No, it's for you, not me.
Oh, okay.
In other words, you get to. That's what's so good about this, because you see things. I ask questions, but you see what's going on inside of you, and you can choose to address it or not.
Yeah.
It's no pressure.
Yeah.
That's what's so good about it.
And fun.
And fun is the best part of it.
Yeah, fun, laughing and fun. I believe in that.
Yes, and building a business that works can be fun. I laugh with my clients all the time. It's enjoyable, and they like to have someone who's collaborating with them and showing them where to go. That isn't usually available. That's what business coaching at its best can be.
Yeah.
And this work is available now all over the world.
Oh, okay.
It's become so popular in the last 10 years.
Excellent.
More and more.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad to see you're a part of it.
Me too.
And you're helping a lot of people.
It's the best work. That's the thing that I found over the last 15 years that I'm incredibly passionate about, because it's my dream come true to have horses. I never dreamed that the horses would be teaching leadership to my clients.
That's a great.
It's an amazement.
That's a great item.
Yeah.
Well, again, thanks for being
You're
part
welcome.
of this. Appreciate it.
You bet. Any questions are welcome from your viewers and you and anyone.
Thank you.